From the creative geniuses that brought us the name Top Thrill 2, we introduce to you Top Thrill 2uesday. For the past couple months, Cedar Point has rebranded Tuesday into Top Thrill Tuesday, where they give us progress updates on Top Thrill 2, whether there's anything to say or not. Honestly, a lot of the updates are just kind of a bunch of fluff, like last week or something like that. They gave pictures of like fences and stuff, really nothing of interest. That's why we haven't really done any videos about it. But I think like it was like a couple weeks ago or a few weeks ago, they did a live TikTok where they were at the station, Tony Clark, and the guy that heads up the construction for roller coasters at Cedar Point, can't remember his name, but they were on site for Top Thrill 2 and they were showing us all sorts of stuff that we haven't seen before, and that was pretty cool. But they probably could have done without the Q&A because there were a lot of Q's but not a lot of A's. Anything of substance that anyone asked Tony Clark about Top Thrill 2, he either outright ignored or said that he can't answer it at the time. The only things that they actually did answer were things like what day is Cedar Point opening and like is the lake still by Cedar Point or whatever, so nothing of substance. Yet every Tuesday we sit by Facebook, we sit by Twitter and just wait for Cedar Point's announcement, hoping that they announce something new and interesting, like what the pass holder preview day is going to be like, all the information that we're waiting to find out about that, and about the keychains. Everyone that got the Top Thrill 2 keychains at last year's Coaster Mania, people that have those are really anxious to find out what that will get them. But today on Tuesday, or Top Thrill Tuesday, March 19th, none of that was answered, but they did give something pretty interesting. Interesting enough where I felt like could actually talk about it here in a video. They released all sorts of footage of Top Thrill 2 testing. Now this is the full train, unlike what was going on before where it was like Franken-trains, like different pieces put together. These are whole trains. And one thing in particular that stood out is that they were launching it from the actual booth where they're going to be launching it whenever passengers are riding it, whenever it's open. Before, what they were doing, they had to like work around and they didn't have any sort of control booth or anything like that. I'm not actually 100% sure what they did, but they were able to launch it without that. But now everything is installed and they can push the launch button and boom, away it goes. So in this footage, you get to see a lot of close-up stuff. They don't show the switch track, which I would really like to see, like the high-speed switch track. I mean, you see it in videos Pantheon and stuff like that. You get to see it. But I was really interested in kind of seeing it in this video, but no such luck. But they do show it taking off, and they do show it going backwards up the spike. And a while back in a video, I predicted that I think it would go probably around like 350 or so feet tall. Like the train will actually reach that height on the 420-foot spike. One thing that they did release in the TikTok information, the TikTok live video, is that is about how high the train is getting up on the spike. And you can pretty much see it in these videos that they release. They show it going up the backward spike. And you see it going pretty high and pretty tall. So that is something that like you can say like, okay, it's 420 feet tall, the spike, and you're only going up a part of it, but that's just how spikes work. The only time that you actually reach the actual height of a hill or a top hat or anything like that is if it's a full circuit roller coaster. And although this is technically a full circuit roller coaster, the spike part is not full circuit, so you can't possibly reach the top. So 350 feet in the air, looking straight down, giving that little pause while you hit the peak that you're going to hit. That is going to be so cool. I don't think people realize, unless you've ridden rides that have like a backward spike like that, I don't think that you really realize how like scary that's going to be. I mean, you're going to be looking 300 feet straight down, like especially if you're like in the front row or whatever. That's going to be pretty cool. Like, I think what I've kept saying is that the coolest part of this ride is going to be that backwards launch. Going backwards at 100 miles per hour and hitting that spike going straight up, that's going to be an experience. Like, the launch itself isn't going to be what the old launch is. It's not a hydraulic launch. It's not as powerful. It's not as punchy, but that backwards launch should hopefully make up for everything. And other than that, this video it shows it reaching the height whenever it has its first rollback. And as we all know, and a lot of people are disappointed in, it obviously doesn't get too high on the top hat. I know that people were really hoping that the train would reach like near the top of the top hat, but the fact is that that would just be too much electricity and too much power to launch it probably 100 or more miles per hour from a standstill. So that's something that Cedar Point was not going to do. So they chose 74 miles per hour, put you up the hill a little bit, like the front seat will get you a little bit up the top, like up the hill for the top hat. And that's going to have to be good enough. But like I said, I think the backwards launch and then going up that top, the spike at 350 feet in the air, I think that will more than make up for everything. And then you're going to come down, hit the third launch, hit 120 miles per hour, and then crest over the top hat like the old Top Thrill Dragster and go around the downward spiral and then into the brakes. But either way, I thought that this update from Cedar Point was worthy of a video, and
we're not worthy
talking about, because this is pretty cool footage. So wanted to get this out there for everyone. If you enjoyed this, please consider, first of all, liking the video and then going down and subscribing. If you're into roller coaster content, all sorts of things about amusement parks, roller coasters in general. We do vlogs at different parks, talk about updates and stuff like that. So if that's what you're into, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to go one step above subscribing, you can go down into the description. There's a link to a channel membership page, and you can join one of two tiers. And that channel membership page gets you things like exclusive videos, exclusive shout outs like you see on the screen right here, and things like pictures and that. Plus, it helps out the channel a ton and helps us do all sorts of videos like this and traveling vlogs and stuff, which we have a lot coming up this summer, so you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you to all our channel members. You guys are the backbone of this community. Thank you guys so much. But that is it for this video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Beach Cliff Studios.
Experience the excitement, the speed, the adrenaline of high-performance racing on an all-new vertical speedway. Introducing Top Thrill 2, the world's tallest and fastest triple-launch stratocoaster. Buckle in and smoke the competition on this extreme motorsport machine. Launch 3 times at speeds reaching 120 miles per hour. Drive the sky at 420 feet. Pump the brakes, cross the finish line. Take that victory lap. Get revved up on Top Thrill 2, coming to Cedar Point, 2024.